Hey guys, this is Kim and Josh with the Spirit Light Show. Today we're going to do something a little different than the show. We're just going to have a movie review on the new Paranormal Activity the Marked ones.
Yep, and we're going to be doing these in between the other main shows. We haven't been doing them recently because of the holidays and stuff, and the first one we did is more of just like a kind of pilot type of thing, more trial. We knew there were some mistakes, but, you know, it went up anyways because, well, nothing like major, but, you know, just kind of getting used to all this stuff. So this is just kind of a mini review, and we're probably going to do more of these for bigger movies that come out. Mm-hmm. One update we do want to talk about real quick before we get into the review is last time on the show, if you happen to watch it, we mentioned that we were making a movie, and it was going to be up within a couple weeks. It is still not out. We still have not finished it. We have half of it done. There's outside portions and inside portions. The inside portions is what we have left to do. We were supposed to do those tomorrow, but where we live, the wind chill right now is negative like 30 degrees. So we are pretty much staying indoors and not traveling much.
Yes, because it sucks.
Right, but it is coming.
Yes.
It will be up within a month. It'll be up within a month sometime.
Yes.
Yes.
So the movie, it's Paranormal Activity. It's in the same family as all the other ones.
Right.
It's slightly different though, whereas the first few kind of all focused around families setting up surveillance in their homes.
Yeah.
This one's more a guy with a camera walking around for most of it.
Yeah, the first three films all followed the same family lineage. It wasn't all the same people, but if you haven't seen, like, the first one was Katie, and the second one was her sister, because the first one was the first one, the second one was a prequel to the first one, and the third one was a prequel. It was a prequel to all the other ones.
Yes.
Well, the second one is actually somewhat of a sequel. But,
yes. This one,
right.
You see, which is one thing I want to mention I didn't really like about it. There's a daughter in the second one, which is the only remaining family member.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the other ones, spoilers, but you should have seen them by now. If you're watching the review for this, you should see the other ones.
Yes. And they never mention, because she was away while her whole family got killed.
Right.
And she comes back. She's in this one for like 2 minutes, explaining something to these people. Never mentions like, oh, hey, yeah, my family got murdered. Here's what I did after that.
And it's also something else we want to mention that's a big annoyance, is she gets like one of the lamest lines. They're like, well, why are they doing it to us now? You know, we're so old and we've been so much time. She's like, well, add up all these numbers. Are you ready for this? She's like, equals 666. Like, that is probably one of the lamest, corniest things I've ever heard. Mm-hmm. And like in the second one, if I remember right, she wasn't that bad of an actress, and, you know, like, there weren't really corny lines, but this one, she's in it for like a minute or two, and she delivers the most annoying thing probably throughout the whole movie.
Yes.
Debatably.
And I mean, that's one thing that bothered me, like, through this whole thing. It's like, well, like, I want to know. Some of them didn't have the best endings.
Yeah.
And they kind of left you wondering what happened.
But that's okay.
But to leave a whole family member alive and to never touch on what happens with them.
Right. Where'd she go? We don't have any idea.
She's apparently live and kicking it and given, you know.
They should have went in a direction with her maybe and just, but
yeah,
they didn't.
Whatever.
Yeah. It's kind of just Paranormal Activity in Mexico. It's more along the lines of something like Chronicle in that. I mean, he does actually get superpowers, and I'm like, oh, that's
Which didn't really make sense to the whole Paranormal Activity.
If you've ever watched Paranormal Activity movie and said, man, this would be so much better if the main character had superpowers, well,
he gets them.
He gets them for a while. And
he can attach his dog to the ceiling, which I guess is...
I guess that's scary.
Useful.
It's more just like, oh, there's a dog on the ceiling. Well, that's not nice.
Yeah. It had, like, I don't want to say it had a creepy feel like all the others, because it wasn't really like that. It had a few creepy things that should have given you jump scares, but a lot of it was really predictable.
Yeah, very empty jump scares.
Yes.
I like jump scares if they accentuate the action, kind of like how Insidious does. They put them there. There's not a lot of them, you know, but they're there and they really accentuate the fear you're already feeling. These ones are just really cheap jump scares, and you know what's going to happen. It makes it even more pathetic when it actually does.
If you've seen any scary movies, you can probably predict what the jump scares are going to be just by watching it.
Right.
I mean, it has like the typical shower scene and all that.
Pretty much every looking through a window and someone slams against it. Like everything you can think of is pretty much in this movie, which is kind of sad because Paranormal Activity usually doesn't have really cheap. They usually scare you in ways that you're not expecting. Yeah,
which is what I've always really liked about them, is they usually have like those unexpected jump scares.
Right.
Not so much in this one, though.
More creepy moments. This one didn't have too many of those. There were
It had a
some,
couple creepy moments.
which I guess we should touch on some things that we did like. One of those creepy moments that I kind of enjoyed was most Paranormal Activities have an R rating, but they're not really R's. Like, they might say, like, fuck or something in it. But, like, this one has, like, some full-blown nudity. I mean, like, for a couple minutes, you're just staring at this creepy naked woman who's just standing completely still while this fat naked woman is, like, painting these, like, symbols on her and stuff. And, I mean, like, you're seeing, like, you know, full frontal for a while, and it's just really creepy. Not attractive at all, just creepy.
Yeah. Another creepy scene is I don't really understand what was happening, why it happened, but he was in the bathroom and he starts like pulling this black stringy looking stuff out of
Never
his eye.
explained it. I think it was more just to be creepy.
Yeah. I never explained why he got superpowers either, but...
Right, well, I get that because it's supposed to be the demon was inside of him and it was making sure that the vessel didn't get hurt. That was like where the whole superpowers were based on for that. But there's some...
I've seen plenty of demon movies where no one had superpowers, but I guess that's them.
I mean, kind of a
taking
unique
their own
take, but I
direction.
just didn't think it fit that well.
No,
but
it didn't.
Yeah. Another thing that I did like was how it all tied in. That was cool.
It did. Out of most of them, it probably had like the most complete ending. A lot of them, like I said, leave you at the end kind of guessing as to what happened. This actually tied most of them together, which helped a lot.
I don't know if I actually liked the way it was executed, but I liked the idea of the ending, if that makes sense. There are parts like the silly shotgun, the shotgun shots, people just flying through the air. No blood, but they're just flying through the air.
Yes, and it clearly looked like they were attached to something being pulled because they would just go straight back.
And the movie, I'm sure, has a big, huge budget, not like the first one. Now they can afford to do more.
Yes. Another thing there was a lot of scenes that didn't really make sense. There was a scene with a car crash.
I was hoping that,
where they're driving down the road and this truck just slams right into them.
I mean, like full speed hits them from the side, driver's side.
Yeah, right on the driver's side. Like if this was real, you probably would have been dead or seriously injured.
Yeah.
It takes them about 30 seconds. They pick up the camera and start driving again.
Yeah, I mean,
no
driving
damage
the
to
car. Yeah, I mean, like it has some dents, I guess, but they hit the car because they want to take the guy that's in the back seat, take him, drive off, and they're like, oh, you have to start the car back up. He starts the car, not even a cut on him, and just starts driving again.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I understand you need to suspend disbelief a bit for movies, but that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It just, I feel like they could have done a lot more with the story. I do like, as we were saying, the movie does have heart, though, which is something that does kind of say, but it is kind of fun to watch. I mean, it's not an awful movie.
Yeah, it's not boring, you know, it's not like one of those scary movies where you're just, like, waiting, like, is anything gonna happen? Like, things happen.
Things do happen quite a bit.
While they might be predictable, things do still happen.
Right. It just...
Fell a little short.
Yeah, it fell a little short, and a lot of the things, there's big continuity mistakes, and just, I don't know, it just didn't feel like a Paranormal Activity movie, which is why they didn't number it, and I get that. They called it the Marked ones instead of, you know, naming it 5, because it is slightly different.
Yes. But it is still in the Paranormal Activity franchise, therefore everyone kind of has expectations for it.
Right, I feel like they could have done a lot more with it than... because it's kind of getting a little bit old now, and they really need to wrap it up with the next one. I mean, they do need to have one more at least, but they need to end it and just kind of stop, because 1 through 3 were good movies. 4 was pretty damn shaky. This I do enjoy better than 4.
Yeah.
Because not much happened in 4, and I didn't like the cast for 4.
Yeah.
It just was kind of but yeah.
So we gave it a rating of 6, while it had...
Out of 10, yeah, we
out
go
of
1
10,
through 10.
yes.
That's how we are rating things.
While it did have its down parts, like we said, it wasn't boring. Things did happen. The acting wasn't terrible. The production's fairly good, so...
Right. Yeah, so I mean, if you've seen the other ones, I recommend, you know, seeing in theaters, because these movies are never as good. You're just watching on a screen, you know, I mean, it's probably worth your time. There's not a lot in theaters right now anyways. I mean, well, there's a few things, but new coming out, there's not a lot, especially for horror, for a while. So, that's pretty much it for this review. So we will have more episodes soon, reviewing other things and doing our segments and our skits. Make sure to check out our other videos in the links below, because we do the short films and the whatnots and the so forths. So, yes. Thank you guys very much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.